Uppercase, lowercase?
Uppercase.
Oh, you can't see the letter that way. All right, well, let's do that. Like that's almost too tall. That's okay, I can change it. So and I don't necessarily mean to make this part look easy. I don't think it is that easy. I think, you know, observing what this letter looks like and trying to you know, get all of the details of it is important, but I don't think it's a quick, easy thing. So I'm looking at how thick this is going to be. I'm definitely going to shorten this box. See the way that curves. This actually goes past, like if I go straight down from here, this goes out past that. And then the next one starts pretty quickly. If I go straight down from there, a little past there. Just seeing what the curve of this is like and how this kind of slopes and then straightens out just for a second before it gets to the end. Is that okay? Can I work with that? It's not great.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, you guys, you can print the letter out and trace it if you like. You know, that would not be a bad step for you guys to do. Okay, so there's that. Let's draw an X. Let's mark halfway. Oops. Okay. So, oh, that's kind of fun. Kind of like that curl, that circle for the K. Yeah, I'll try that next time. So last time we were on the horizon line and we kind of had it turned a little bit. Do you guys have like another position you're thinking about that you might like to see? I'm kind of thinking I'll have the K coming from this way. Have it coming this direction because I think we'll see more interesting stuff. And then maybe I'll also draw it like we're looking down on it a little bit more. Okay. So below the horizon line. And I know I'm saying do as I say, not as I do, but I really do think you guys need vanishing points further off the paper. especially as you decide to turn these letters. It's harder for me to fit it all in the demo, but I think it's a really good idea. So let's choose point here, point over here. And then let's put this down here. Hopefully we won't get any distortion. Okay. So I'm going to do the K on this side this time. Now with it turned this much, I'm really going to need that X to help me. All right, I'm looking at this point and kind of where they are relative to that plus and or plus that, vertical and horizontal. It's possible I'm eyeballing some things I should be, dividing further. So, please don't feel like you shouldn't make as many divisions as you need to get this right. It's just a little crooked. Right about where is the angle of that? Okay. And down here, the K seems to leave, intersect right here on this middle line. Now I'm going to try to get that other slant of the K. This definitely feels like a much more distorted letter. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Like the angle I put it at is changing it a whole lot from what it looks like when it's flat. I think these are the times when you really need the all of that though. I'm gonna do my best to match this angle. Okay, so now we've got the letter drawn. And I don't know if you guys need to see that any closer, but you know, I've tried to mark out where the curves are going to be, keep the height of these little curly Q things consistent, and get, you know, this to be thinner and these two lines to be thicker. So now I'm going to work with drawing it back to the other side, to the other vanishing point. So just to keep this big enough, I'm going to do it, you know, zoom in, but you'll just have to trust me that I'm definitely going back to the vanishing point. So looking at the top, I know I'm going to have the top side of these letters. So I know I've already drawn the back side here with the back of the box and the front side here, but I need to do kind of the back of the front. Okay, so do you see how I have the top sides now? Then moving down, I'm going to work on these 2 points, you know, those front sides. Sorry, I keep moving this around. The same thing we just did there, I think we can think about doing down here in the front. So there's that point. This front corner I've already drawn, and then the intersection of these 2 angles of the K. That's really what you're going to see on the front side. I think we're getting to the point where it's going to be important to draw the back side of the box. I don't know how much further I can go without that. So I'm just going to block in So I know I didn't draw the box as if it were see-through right away. I kind of like not doing that because I like, as long as you can remember to do it later, I like it because there's not as many lines to kind of confuse you, as you're drawing the box. But I definitely think you cannot finish the letter without doing that. And this is going to be the back corner of the box. And that is not lining up at all. So let's well, that's unfortunate. But what can you do? So I'm just going to draw the line and kind of fudge it, just so you understand it should be joining up right here. So, oh well, I'm a human being. But you should at least understand what it's supposed to be doing. So now that we have the back edge of the box, we can find where this K, for example, should end over here. And that's a really important spot. So the way we can do that, it just so happens that that K started on the center point, the center line. So we already actually have a line drawn going down that shows us where that would hit the bottom of the box. So we basically want to find where is the center on the back of the box. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera, guys. Right here. And then when we head back up vertically, wherever we hit that corresponding K line, which is this line, do you see it? That's going to show us where the K happens on the back of the box. So this angle right here, you can see it, it's sort of, there's a little bit of that flourish that comes off of it, but it almost runs into this corner. So going from here, I'm going to do sort of the same thing. I'm going to run almost into this corner and know that I need to stop a little shy of it to connect these two. To tell you exactly where that should be happening, you can look at where the curve or the change happens here. Go back to the vanishing point. And that will be the same place there. So I feel happy with that. Hopefully you guys aren't losing that. Okay. So then for this angle of the K right here, I'm going to match that, slide it over here. And just because we can, change things as we move, the line will go off just past the corner of the box. So as I line up here, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna kind of shift my ruler so that it has that same effect. Okay, so I'll be going just past. Now this isn't dealing with this shape yet. This is just dealing with the angle of the K. To get the corner here the way it ought to be, I need to know, what this angle is. I need to know where this intersects with the back side of the box, which is right there. And then I need to draw that line back to the vanishing point. I am not going to see really anything happening here. These points all just come together so closely that there's not going to be a curve the way that we see it. And this line also indicates, how wide that should have been. So that's pretty close. Next, down here, we have these little curves of the letter. Do you see how that tucks behind that little piece? Let me erase some of the extras here. So hopefully you're seeing how that happens. And then the next corners up here and here. And then this is going to curve and go up, but we're definitely not going to see what's happening over there. And then we have one last spot right here that will go back to the vanishing point. Oh, and I'm still missing one thing. I'm missing where the K ends back in here. So in order to find that, probably the best thing to do would be to trace this line up. Remember, like I said, if we just cut this whole thing off and made this a straight line, and then go back to the vanishing point. And then wherever I would head back down when I intersect with that back corner, that is going to give me the width of this edge over on this side. And that's it, other than cleaning up the lines. Do you guys want me to clean up the lines at all, or can you see it?
Just clean up the lines.
And when I do that, I'm also adding some line variation to help help the stuff that's in the foreground stand out separately from what's in the background. So what I'm doing with the ruler is I'm kind of angling the pencil a little differently so that it just makes like a thicker line. And just with regard to time, I'm going to have to demo the hatching next time. I'm not that nervous about that. I think this was important stuff to talk about, but what I would like you guys to spend a little bit of time doing between now and next time is thinking about what your compositions are going to be. So that doesn't necessarily involve you drawing any letters. It's just more a matter of picking out how you want it to fit on the page. You can do that using your phone as kind of a viewfinder. You could take a piece of tracing paper and try drawing different size rectangles around the letters. And you could also actually cut out two L shapes and then sort of hold them together like this to help you find different compositions. And it's the same thing I did in the, what was the project? In the figure ground project. At the end of that video, you saw me kind of making those letter L's and just using it to help me compose.
So the composition has to be one large, one medium, and one small.
Well, the size of the piece isn't going to be large, medium, and small, but the size of the letter inside of the image, inside of the picture plane will be. Does that make sense? It will appear large, medium, or small relative to the picture plane. So basically you've zoomed in on one and not so much on the other one. So do you see I'm just using thicker lines in the foreground, thinner lines, or erasing the lines in the background? That's going to really help help this stand out. And I can't get rid of the pink lines, but hopefully you see that starting to really have some integrity as I remove the extras. Okay, that's gonna do it. So next time, let's talk about the compositions you came up with and let me help you with let me demo the shading. Okay, and then these are going to be due Tuesday. So make plans for that. Also, I didn't really get to talk to you about it, but take a look at the grid portrait project, that module. And basically what you need to do is find a black and white portrait or take a picture of yourself. It can also be just a picture you find on the internet or, you know, someone else in your life, but it needs to be a black and white portrait with a light side of your head and a dark side of your head. So I'd like everybody to show me one or two options next time. And it's going to need to be a fairly large quality image.